Have you ever heard the phrase, life begins at 40? It's not just a cliche. Something profound happens when you cross that milestone. You see life differently. Priorities shift, relationships evolve, and your perspective on success, happiness, and time changes completely. Some things that once seemed urgent suddenly don't matter, while others, your health, your peace, your time, become the most valuable things in the world. In today's video, I'm sharing the 8 most important life lessons I've learned after turning 40. Truths that, if understood earlier, can save you years of stress, frustration, and wasted time. And whether you're in your 20s, 30s, or already past 40, these insights might just change the way you see life forever. Turning 40 is often called the beginning of wisdom, but why? Well, by this point, you've lived through enough experiences to know what truly matters and what doesn't. You've failed and learned, lost and grown, loved and let go. It's a decade of clarity. You no longer chase things that don't serve you. You no longer seek approval from people who don't matter. And most importantly, you finally start living for yourself. In this video, I'll break down 8 powerful lessons that change my perspective completely. And if you're watching this before turning 40, consider this a life shortcut, because learning these lessons early can make all the difference. Let's dive in. Why turning 40 changes everything. They say youth is wasted on the young, and I used to roll my eyes at that. But looking back, I understand what it means. When you're younger, you feel like time is unlimited. You chase status, money, relationships, thinking these things will bring you happiness. But as you get older, you start realizing something profound. Time is more valuable than money. Health is the greatest investment. Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you create. And if you don't learn these lessons early, life will teach them to you the hard way. So let's break them down, one by one. Lesson 1. Time is your most precious asset. When you're younger, you think you have all the time in the world. You waste it on things that don't matter, scrolling mindlessly, arguing over nonsense, worrying about people who don't care about you. Then one day you wake up and realize, I don't get these hours back. And here's the harsh truth. Every minute you spend on something meaningless is a minute you'll never get back. There was a time when I said yes to everything. Every meeting, every favor, every social event, because I didn't want to disappoint people. But after 40, I started saying no more often, because I realized that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something meaningful. If you have 5 hours of free time per day, what are you doing with it? Watching TV? Scrolling social media? Complaining about things you can't change? Or are you using it to improve your life, learn, and build something meaningful? Time is the only currency you can't earn back. Spend it wisely. Lesson 2. Health is wealth. When you're young, you take your health for granted. You can eat whatever you want, sleep 4 hours a night, and skip workouts. Your body recovers. But after 40, your body starts reminding you of all the things you neglected. And here's the truth. If you don't prioritize your health now, you'll be forced to make it your #1 priority later, when it's already too late. A friend of mine spent his 20s and 30s working 80-hour weeks, ignoring his body. Then at 45, he had a major health scare. Suddenly, his job didn't matter. His money didn't matter. All that mattered was getting healthy again. By 40, you start realizing that sleep is non-negotiable. Junk food isn't worth the long-term cost. Stress literally kills. If you take care of your body, it will take care of you. Lesson 3. Stop seeking everyone's approval. When you're younger, you want to fit in. You want people to like you. You try to be nice, agreeable, and likable, even at the cost of your own happiness. But by 40, you learn a hard truth. Most people aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. I used to stress over people's opinions, how I looked, what I said, whether I offended someone. But then I realized, no matter what you do, someone will criticize you. You can be the kindest, most selfless person, and someone will still dislike you. So what do? You live for yourself. You make decisions based on your values, not on what will make people approve of you. The moment you stop seeking validation, you start feeling free. Lesson 4. Happiness comes from within. For years, I thought happiness was something I had to chase. I believed that more money, more success, a better house, or the perfect relationship would finally make me happy. But I was wrong. I once reached a career goal I had been working toward for 10 years. I expected it to feel life-changing, but after a few weeks, I felt exactly the same. That's when I realized happiness isn't found in external things. It's found inside you. If you're not happy now, you won't be happy when you get there. True happiness comes from check gratitude for what you already have, appreciating simple moments, letting go of what you can't control. Happiness isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. Lesson 5. Failures are just lessons in disguise. By 40, you've failed a lot. Business ventures that didn't work, relationships that fell apart, goals you didn't achieve. But instead of seeing failure as the end, you start seeing it as a teacher. Every single failure I've had has taught me something valuable. A failed business taught me how to manage money better. A broken relationship taught me self-respect. A rejected opportunity led me to something even better. The lesson? Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of success. Lesson 6. True friends are few, and that's okay. When you're younger, you think having a lot of friends means you're successful. By 40, you realize that true friendships are rare. In my 20s, I had a huge social circle. By 40, I could count my real friends on one hand. A real friend is there for you when you need them. A real friend celebrates your wins without jealousy. A real friend supports you with no expectations. And guess what? If you have even one true friend, you are lucky. Lesson 7. Your peace is more important than drama. By 40, you don't tolerate toxic people, petty arguments, or unnecessary drama. You value peace over chaos. You cut off negativity. You walk away from arguments that don't matter. You protect your mental energy. Because drama drains you and peace helps you grow. Lesson 8. You define your own success. For the first 40 years of your life, you're often chasing a version of success that was handed to you by society. Think about it. From a young age, you're told that success looks like this: get good grades, go to college, land a high-paying job, buy a house, get married and have kids. And while for some people, this version of success is fulfilling, for many, it isn't. The problem? Most people don't question it until much later in life, sometimes after decades of chasing something that doesn't truly fulfill them. Success is not one size fits all. By 40, you start to realize that there's no universal definition of success. Some people feel successful when they reach financial freedom. Some feel successful when they build a loving family. Some define success as waking up every day and doing what they love. And guess what? All of these are valid. The biggest mistake people make is living someone else's dream instead of defining their own. What you thought mattered doesn't always matter. Let me share a personal realization. In my 20s and 30s, I was obsessed with career growth, social status, and external validation. I thought success meant a high-paying job, a fancy title, and looking impressive to others. But after 40, I realized something shocking. No one really cares. People are too busy thinking about themselves to be impressed by your job title or the brand of car you drive. What actually matters? The way you feel about yourself. The relationships you build. The freedom to live on your own terms. Many people realize this too late, after years of chasing something they didn't actually want. The fear of redefining success. Now here's the tricky part. Many people are afraid to redefine success because they feel like they'll disappoint others. Maybe you've built a career based on what others expected of you. Maybe you followed a life path because it was safe or expected. And now the thought of changing direction feels scary. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to live your life. You have one life, and the moment you realize you're allowed to create your own definition of success is the moment you start living freely. What does success mean to you? Let me ask you something. If you didn't care about what others thought, what would you truly want? If money wasn't an issue, how would you spend your time? What makes you feel genuinely fulfilled, not just temporarily happy? If your definition of success is financial freedom, go for it. If it's a peaceful, simple life, embrace it. If it's waking up excited to work on something you love, chase it. Because at the end of the day, only you have to live with the choices you make. If you wake up every morning dreading your life, who cares if society sees you as successful? If you feel at peace, fulfilled, and genuinely happy, who cares if others don't get it? The real success is living in alignment with your values and happiness. If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it's this. Turning 40 isn't an end. It's a new beginning. It's the moment where you start living on your terms. It's the time where you stop chasing things that don't matter and start focusing on what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. The truth is, most people don't truly live until they realize their time is limited, their happiness is in their hands, and they have the power to define success for themselves. And if you're younger than 40, consider this a cheat code. Learn these lessons now, so you don't have to wait decades to realize what really matters. Because the sooner you start living by these truths, the sooner you'll experience the freedom, peace, and fulfillment that so many people spend a lifetime searching for. What's the biggest life lesson you've learned? Drop it in the comments below. If you found this valuable, don't forget to subscribe for more life wisdom.